Welcome to this episode of the Quip and Convo segment. You'll see my guest bio right after this. And dare I say, you'll be glad that you stay tuned. So please join us in the Quip Corner. See you in a bit. Welcome to the Quip Corner with Ada Ayishat.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
It's a delight to have you. So as we exchanged emails, you had said you'd like to talk about Quip 47. Let me look for it first. No, one sec. I am picking up the wrong book. Talk about a quip from my fourth book, which is Quip 47. Yeah, so when you excuse yourself from excuses, you're on the path to exceeding your expectations of yourself. And that's the picture at the bottom that goes with the quip. Yeah, no more excuses. So tell us, why did you choose that one?
Well, it's first, I'm grateful for this opportunity to share. Thank you for inviting me. And I look forward to learning from you and even as I share as well. Okay, so why I chose that one is because it's just resonates so deeply. And for me, I've throughout my personal journey, my career, as well as my education, there have been situations where I could have allowed excuses to come in the way of my dream, in the way of pursuing my goals. But I did not allow that. Rather, I found a way to do it, and it was better off for me. So I've always had it in mind that regardless of whatever it might be, if I need to do it, I should find a way. So when I saw that quip, I said, okay, I need to discuss this.
Interesting. You know, one of the things that I have found in life is that for anything you want to do, there's always an excuse available. Yeah?
Yes.
And I like the way you said
thousands of them.
And they sound valid, right?
Yeah.
So how?
That's what makes it difficult.
Exactly. So how, in your experience, have you, would I say, countered or excused yourself from that excuse? How do you do that?
Okay, so for me, I think one thing is prioritization. Knowing that even though the excuses they may be valid at this point in time, I need to also prioritize. Am I going with the excuse or going with what I need to do? So I then need to choose because and when I'm prioritizing, I'm looking at the end goal. I'm looking at what the future will be if I make a decision.
Yeah.
So whatever decision I want to make now, I'm looking at what the results will be in future. So by prioritizing, just because let me just give an example. Let's say I want to hang out with some people this Saturday, and that same Saturday is maybe one in a lifetime opportunity to get a certification concerning something that I've been trying to do.
Yeah.
Of course, hanging out with people will always be able to do that, but I might not be able to do the other thing at this point in time, and maybe some opportunity might come by that I might not qualify for just because I didn't have that certification. So being able to prioritize correctly doesn't mean that the thing you are letting go of is not valid. It just means that at this point in time, it's not what I need to do. So prioritization has really helped me.
Oh, I like the way you've broken it down, because I think that sometimes some of us feel that what we let go of is bad. But to your point, it's just that that's not what I need at this time. Hmm. So how do you manage, or how would you suggest to someone who um, gives into the excuse and doesn't proceed? How do you recover from that? What advice would you give someone?
Okay, I think the first thing that I would say is it's sometimes normal to give in to some excuses because we've all been there, and sometimes I still find myself giving in to certain excuses just because we are human. But a way to ensure that you don't keep doing that is just having time for reflection, being able to reflect on, let's say, I know that one thing that most people struggle with is time management. I also struggle with it sometimes. So, and that's because we need time to do certain things. We need time to achieve our goals. We need time to spend with our family. We need time to pursue our career. So there are a lot of things that we do with time. So using that as an example, let's say I know somebody who gives excuses a lot when it comes to time management or procrastination. One thing that I would say is reflect on how you've been spending your time, reflect on the choices that you've been making all this while, what
Mm,
has happened, where you are now, does it look like where you've envisioned yourself to be? Because when you take time to reflect, you actually start noticing things that you can change little by little. And for me,
yeah,
one thing that I notice when it comes to time management is, if I tell myself that I don't have time to do this, and I know that it is important,
yeah,
I then need to sit down and reflect. So how have I been managing my time? What have I been doing? And then I say, oh, maybe I've spent a longer time on social media, or I could have just cut down the time I spent doing this, and or maybe I should have delegated something else to somebody, or maybe I shouldn't have even done a certain task that would have given me the opportunity to do something else. So reflection is really important. I think that's like the first step, because when you reflect and you see the gaps, you see what you've been doing wrong, you are then able to decide and say, okay, I want to stop doing this so that I can do this.
yeah. Hmm. Hmm. That's worth reflecting on. Just everything you just said about reflection
Yes,
is worth
yes.
reflecting on. Wow. Hmm. Wow. Well, you've just been dropping nuggets. You've just been dropping nuggets. So, any, closing words, parting words to people, about reflecting, prioritization, excusing themselves from excuses, thoughts, please.
Yes. Okay, so one thing that I would like to drop is just having this statement in your mind, which is do the work, right? It's a lot of us, we have dreams, we have goals, we have aspirations, but sometimes the reason why we are still where we were is because we've not done the work.
Hmm.
Not because we don't know what to do, but because we've not actually prioritized or sat down to say, okay, I'm finally ready. And I mean, you will always find excuses. Something will always come up. So it's just saying that regardless of whatever it might be, I will do the work. So let me give some context. So if for instance you're a mother, you have kids and you're studying for an exam, But during the day, it's just a lot. I mean, you have so many things to do. Maybe you even go to work, or you have a business that you're running. So how can you then say, okay, maybe before you sleep or at midnight, you want to wake up for 1 hour? Do you want to just have like that 1 hour time before bedtime to study? I mean, that is part of doing the work, because it is when you do the work that you stop giving excuses. And doing the work does not mean that you would see the results almost immediately. It means that you're already building that muscle, you are building consistency. And by the time you are done, by the time you get to that point that you want to get, you would see the results,
Hmm.
and you would appreciate all the time, the effort that you have been putting in all this while. So that's something that I wanted to drop.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Do the work. Do the work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you again for joining me in the Quip and Convo segment. I really appreciate it, Aishat.
You're welcome. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. You take care.
Yes, ma'am. Bye.
Bye now. So, was I right or was I right? I like how Aishat wrapped it up in the do the work. Do the work. It'll be great to read your comments on how you have let excuses get in the way or not let excuses get in the way. And I look forward to connecting with you in another episode of the Quick Corner with Ada. See you and God bless you. Bye now.